Hey, South Park, how you doing there? How you doing? Now listen, it is now Tuesday, January the 20th. I'm updating everybody. I'm going to be here for a couple minutes. Make sure that you listen to everything that I say. Listen, number one, anytime you have any questions, moms and dads, if you're there, grandmas, granddads, who's ever babysitting, if you need me, you email me. I check my email every 10, 15 minutes. So if there is a problem or situation, you email me and I'll get right back to you. Okay? Very first thing, moms and dads, your sons or daughters, or grandparents, your granddaughters or grandsons, are doing a tremendous job at getting ready for their speech. They're doing a tremendous job. What I want you to do today, everybody, what I want you to do today, everybody, is practice for your speech. That's all I want you to do. Practice. Now, I want you to review some notes, but for the most part, I want you to practice your part. Now, moms and dads, grandparents, on Thursday and Friday, I gave everybody little note cards that has their speech, or I should say their portion of their speech slash talk on those cards. Don't memorize it. Don't memorize it. What I want you to do is just know it. Just be able to know what you are talking about. All right. Now, I remember back when I was your age, we would have moms and dads. I'm sure you remember this. You would have to know your Christmas speech or your Mother's Day speech at church or your Easter speech. And you'd have to sit there and know all these word for word for word for word. And you'd be all this type of pressure. I don't want you to be stressed out. All I want you to do is be able to talk about your biome. That's all I want you to do. If you can talk about your biome, you're good as gold. Now, excuse me, fighting a little bit of a head cold here. Now, when you're talking about your biome, make sure that you're discussing it with your partners. All right. Now, moms and dads, some people are working by themselves. Those people are working by themselves. I'm their partner. Don't worry about that. I'll have everything ready to go. If you're working with a group, this is a great day. If you have a cell phone, or you can actually make a call with your computer, if you can talk to each other and just practice it and get to know, as soon as someone says rainfall, then oh, in the savannah, and you know exactly where you begin. All right. Make sure that you know make sure that you know exactly what you're doing with your speech. And then we're going to start videotaping. Now, moms and dads, they do not have to wear a suit and tie. If they want to, that's awesome. Just a nice shirt, maybe a nice collared shirt, a polo shirt, or a checkered shirt of some sort. If they wear a sweatshirt, here's what I ask. If they wear a nice sweatshirt, nothing with holes all over it, if it's a nice sweatshirt, don't have Nike all over their chest, or Adidas, or Carhartt or something. If it's a little logo on the side, kind of like this one, see that little logo up there, right there, that little Nike. I understand that, but let's not make it your whole entire chest plate. We're not doing an advertisement for Nike. We're showcasing how intelligent everybody is, and I want them to see you, not an advertisement. So, ladies, nice shirt, nice sweater, nice pair of pants, and that's what I want you to wear. Don't get stressed out about your clothing. Do not wear your prom dress or your wedding dress or your tuxedo that you're going to wear on your wedding day. Don't stress out about that. Nice pair of pants, nice shirt, you'll be good to go. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to look at our biosphere. Now, moms and dads, everybody has these notes at home, so I'm not too stressed about that. What I want to go down, and actually I'm going to blow this up a little bit. 50. All right, here we go. Now, moms and dads, these were the biomes that they got to choose from. So, moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas, if you don't mind, going over and reviewing their notes just to make sure everything's there. They don't have to do anything with marine or anything like that. They were going to focus on the 4 types of forest, deciduous. That's where we live. We live in the deciduous. Deciduous are trees that lose their leaves. The temperate, those are rainforests that don't get too cold, don't get too warm. Those are in the Pacific Northwest. So that's what a temperate rainforest looks like. The rainforests, those are tropical rainforests. Everyone knows what those are, South America jungle. And the pine forest. Now, there's a couple of us that have been lucky enough to travel all over this country, and we got to see each and every one of these. I know Maddie, who's in my sixth or seventh period, we talk about all these places that she's traveled, that I've traveled. If you ever go out west, if you think about the timber industry in Colorado and Wyoming, those are the type of pine trees out there. Also, you can have pine in the deep south, but those aren't naturally occurring. Those are, if you will, like tree farms are what they are. The grasslands are in North America, savannas are in Africa and South America. Now, if you did the freshwaters, moms and dads, they got the choice either to do the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, which are freshwater, or they could focus on the Great Lakes, primarily on Lake Erie. Obviously, Lake Erie touches Pennsylvania. It's one of our borders. It's one of the Great Lakes. So we got to talk about that. The deserts, the mountain areas. Now, if we looked at the mountain areas, your sons or daughters are looking at the Rocky Mountains. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 groups that went with the mountain areas. They're primarily focusing on the Rocky Mountains, not the Appalachian Mountains, and then the tundra and polar regions. All right. Now this is something that I do want to put new in your. No, we already have this about the precipitation. We're going to slide down, and we are going to start off with what is a biome we already have. We are all the way down to savannas we did, marine we did. Hang on, it's coming up. All right, mountains. Now, this is what I want you to put new in your notes, all right? So the very first thing is mountains, and since this is important, I'm going to put this in my LSU purple, which is right here, which I know from last year. So mountain biomes are found along mountain ranges. So in the United States, we have the Appalachian in the East Coast. They run from Georgia all the way up to New York. And then you have the White Mountains that run through Vermont, New Hampshire, and part of Maine. Then you have the Rocky Mountains that go from New Mexico, actually West Texas, New Mexico, all the way up to Colorado. You have the Cascade Mountains, which are from Oregon, Washington, going up through Canada. And then you have the Sierra Nevada Mountains, which are from northern Nevada all the way down to the Baja of California. Now, in class, we'll talk about more about that, but I just want you to understand what that is. So the next thing I want you to do, mountain biomes are found along mountain ranges, all right? Okay, mountain biomes are very cold and windy in the wintertime at the highest area. Very cold. The lower mountain areas have trees and support a large variety of plants and animals. So, way up top of the mountains, it's very cold, very little trees. Roughly, or anything above 8,500 feet, 8,500 feet, you're going to start to see the tree line thin out. And actually, you can actually look at the mountains. If you look at the pictures from out west, you can actually see the tree line. Anything above that, nothing's going to grow. All right. The lower area of the mountains have a lot of variety of plants and animals, all right? All right, and the higher mountains cannot support life except for Bigfoots. Now, obviously, laugh out loud. Let me highlight that. I'm going to put that in my LSU purple here. So, the higher mountains cannot support life except for Bigfoot. Now, moms and dads, obviously, you should know by now, we always put videos or pictures in our notes, and this is just a picture of Bigfoot. I actually think this is a Jack Link's. Yep, this is that beef jerky ad right here. All right, So here's an example of the tree line. You can see trees, trees, trees up to the part. You can actually see them, and right about here, if you come across, that is where the tree line stops. Now, this is part of, if I remember this picture, these are the Sawtooth Mountains in Wyoming. So this is about 50, 60 miles from Yellowstone. Moms, dads, if you ever have the opportunity, get your kids out west. Every scene is like this. It is, every day is a postcard. Every day is a postcard. You can actually see the tree line right there. All right. All right, and the tundra polar area. I keep combining to make one word. Let's go right here. Change this to that LSU purple. And the tundra biome has the coldest climate of the 7 biomes. Temperatures range from negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to feel what this feels like tomorrow. All right. And these low temperatures create a frozen layer of soil called permafrost. Now, since that is important, I'm going to put this in my LSU purple right here. Now, one thing I'm looking at is anybody who's talking about the tundra region or the tundra biome, you better mention this word permafrost. You better mention this one. All it is a layer of the ground that is permanently frozen. Obviously, if you would go outside and dig a hole right now, you're not going to be very successful because the ground is frozen. In the tundra area, tundra biome, it's frozen year-round. Now, right about late February, March, the ground starts to thaw, and you can actually see the ground thawing out. And that's when it's always nice and wet. And then obviously in April, May, we can plant our flowers. In the permafrost area, it is freezing cold all the time. Freezing cold all the time. And that's why we have the permafrost, all right? And the tundra biome gets even less precipitation. Remember, that's any water from the sky. And I want to put this in a different color. Now, we talked about this last week, but I want to make sure everybody knows exactly what precipitation is. That's water from the sky, then the desert biome. Now, a lot of people think there's a lot of snow there. There's very little snow. There's not a lot of moisture in the air, just because it's so cold. But actually, you could really consider the tundra biome polar area as a frozen desert. Hint, hint, you should say that in your speech if you have this area. All right? So that's where I want to leave off. Now, if you want, I want you to put down what is a geothermal feature. Now, this is going to talk about Yellowstone. So put that down in red, and that's where we're going to leave off whenever we get back in class. Now, moms, dads, I'll have a schedule of the kids and when I want them to do their speeches. So, all right. Hey, listen, stay warm. Help out your parents. Don't be a pest. Maybe help do some laundry. And maybe even help make dinner or breakfast. Hey, sleep tight, stay warm. As always, go Eagles. Bye-bye.